This program contains adult language and situations which may be considered offensive to some viewers and/or children, but more likely their parents.
Well, I gotta adjust the camera because it's off balance, off center. Alright. Hey, kitties. Kitties. Little kitties. Hold on. I gotta get my prop. Alright. I forgot my prop. So, I just got done playing and beating this game. Kitties can see this. Nioh. Is that how you say it? Nioh? 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 You-ho? I don't know, but Eugene let me borrow that game. And the thing is that I'm going to review that game. Okay? I'm not going to say it sucked. I didn't really think it was bad, but I just thought it was I thought it was kind of mediocre. I think the game is severely overrated. People are calling this like Dark Souls, you know, in Japan or whatever the fuck. Dark Souls with samurais and ninjas. And I can't agree with that. Okay? Now, the only thing that's Dark Souls like is the combat system and also the difficulty. I think it's a little easier than Dark Souls, but you know, there's parts in the game where it's really fucking hard. I'm gonna go on the record and say it's kind of an easy game to play, to get through, like to beat the main story, but it's not easy to like platinum it or whatever. A reason for that is, and this is how it's different than Dark Souls. Okay, if anyone's ever played Dark Souls before, you would know. I don't know. I wouldn't call Dark Souls open world, but I kind of think of Dark Souls, and this is gonna be a little weird. Okay, this isn't gonna be this is gonna be a little controversial for me to say, but in a way, Dark Souls is kind of like a Metroidvania type game, except for you don't really get new abilities per se. You get like different keys and or whatnot, and you have to you know, explore a lot of shit. Okay, it's really hard to explain how it goes, how the game works. The way Dark Souls, I'm going to try to explain this, is they throw you into the game, right? And you gotta go through, you gotta like work your way around, defeating enemies, and then you get to like a bonfire, right? And that's like your checkpoint, slash, you know, save point, slash whatever. You go to a bonfire, and that's like whenever you die, that's where you start back at. The last bonfire you've been to. And every time you go to a bonfire, your health comes back, and plus all the other enemies come back as well. So here's the thing: these bonfires are few and far between. But what makes the game interesting is that I remember it was on the first Dark Souls game. There was a part in there, right? It's like kind of right in the beginning too, where you have to. There's a part where you have to do where there's a bonfire, right? There's like a little room you go in, and the bonfire's right there. Okay, and it looks like at first glance there's only one way into that room. Okay, but if you look up at the ceiling, you can see there's like a ladder above the bonfire, right? That's kind of like half hanging down. And you can see that there's kind of like another ledge up there. Now, at first you just go in the room, hit the bonfire, and that's it, right? Well, you come out of the room and you work your way around the area, and eventually you'll be able to get above to where that to where you can kick down that ladder, go down the ladder, and there's your bonfire again. So you kind of make yourself a little shortcut, you know what I'm saying? There's parts like that in all the Dark Souls games, Bloodborne, whatever. You gotta make yourself little shortcuts and whatnot. It could come in the form of, there's a door in this room that can only be opened one way, so you have to kind of find a way to get into the room, so you can open it from the other side, so that now if you die, you could just go right through the door because it's open. That's how Dark Souls works. Or there might be like a tree or something on the other side of a huge like a pit or something. That if you could get to the other side of the pit and then getting to the other side of the pit might involve you, walking all the way around and upstairs, and then you gotta go, around anyway. But if you can knock over like a tree that's on the other side, now you have yourself a little bridge that now when you die you don't have to keep going all the way around. You just walk across the tree trunk, It's little shit like that. It's a fun game, but the thing is that with Dark Souls, you have to it's like one world, okay? It's like you have to backtrack some. You can go, like, you have to go from, like, you start off at, what is it, the shrine, the Firelink Shrine, and then from there you can go to, on Orlando, and, you can fight your way through there, and then it's just, like, you can go, it's like you can walk across, and now you're in, like, another area, And there's, like, no load time or anything like that. Nioh isn't like that. Nioh, this is what I don't like, and this is how it's not like Dark Souls. Nioh, every single part of the game is contained within a level. It's a level, okay? It's not like a big world. It's not like it's not like Dark Souls where you gotta, like, find how to get to the next area. And then there's like a boss. Nioh, there's bosses, but they're at the end of a level. And then you have like a map, and you could switch between your different missions and whatnot. I thought it was kind of stupid that they did that instead of just having like a big. I wouldn't call it open world. Okay, because it really isn't. It's just, I don't know. It's just. Dark Souls isn't open world, I don't think. It's an exploration game, but it's not really. There's not like it's not like Grand Theft Auto, where it's not like Fallout. It's not like Skyrim, Morrowind or what's the Oblivion or whatever. It's not like that. It's its own kind of game. It invented a genre. I don't know what you would actually call I can't even describe. I can't even compare it to another game. But Nioh isn't like Dark Souls in that respect. Every level has its own. It's contained within a level, and it just seems like they're trying to be Dark Souls, because there's parts in the game where, you gotta knock over a tree, it's Dark Souls like that, to get to another, but it's like really, but it's all just contained within one level. And the level in itself is pretty linear. And it's mostly just, oh yeah, you're gonna drop yourself into this area, and now you have to go, and it's pretty much you gotta just go fight the boss, and that's it. Or you have to, something stupid like that. Now the thing I gotta talk about with this is about Nioh. The bosses. The bosses are fucking stupid. I'll admit that. They're fucking stupid. Okay? They're not really original. They're not really that interesting. Okay? So I think it was the first boss I fought was like a knight or something. Oh, really? And then I think the second one, you gotta fight this big dude. You gotta beat this big demon dude with these ball and chains and a boat or something. Again, it's really. There's a part in there where there's a whole level that you have to fight these fucking stupid little fucking blobs or some shit. So what do you guess the fucking boss for that level is? You guessed it, a giant fucking blob. It just seems like it's whatever fucking enemy is part of that level, the boss is gonna be a bigger version of that. There's a part in there where you have to fight all kinds of spiders. Guess what the fucking boss is? A big fucking spider. Really, you couldn't think of anything better. There's some weird shit in that game, and I'll explain it. There's a boss where you have there's actually a boss, and I shit you not, where you have to fight a giant cat. I shit you not. There's another boss in that game where you have to fight a giant frog smoking a pipe. Okay? I don't get it. Now, here's the thing, okay? Here's my other complaint, and it's not really a complaint. It's just they try to. This is what I'm talking about. It's like when people want to be so authentic that it kind of just hurts the game, kind of. Okay, here's the problem. Okay, the game. Okay, I get it. The game was fucking. The game takes place in Japan in the 1600s or something. So this is samurais and all this bullshit. Now, I get it that it's in Japan, but did they really have to make all the Japanese people speak Japanese? I mean, think about it though. They should have at least had an option for English, because I can't really follow it too well when it's all Japanese. I mean, they have subtitles at the bottom, but it's just I really can't like follow it that way, you know. I have to hear English and then maybe like some English subtitles as well. But that's not my brain. Like I can't watch like anime, you know, with just subtitles. I have to have the English dub. I don't care how fucking bad the English dub is. I need the English dub. Okay. I get it that they. What? The fuck was your problem? Yeah. So I get it that they wanted to be authentic. But is it really necessary to be that authentic? Like, they should have at least given you an option to put the voices in English. That's what I think. Now, on top of all that, too, my other complaint is because it's so authentic, everybody has to have, like some Japanese name, and I'm not mocking Japanese names, okay? But these are like real fucking Japanese names, okay? And I don't want to sound like a racist or anything like that, but here's the thing: when you have all kinds of these Japanese names and everything, they kind of just sound like sound like a big mishmash, if that makes sense, you know? It's like the same thing with any kind of name, you know? It's like oh yeah, I gotta go against, Atatogi Batago or what, and, Honda's Tabaki or what, it's like, so we've got Akaboko Bakudo and Honda Takakishi going at it. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't even care really, you know? And it's like I really couldn't keep track of these names. I'm pretty sure that there was a girl in that game with his name Fuck You, you know? I swear to God, her name was Fuck You in this game. It was like Fuku. Okay, and I know it probably says Fuku or something, but I'm saying it Fuck You, okay? The game, the girl's name was literally Fuck You, okay? Because, if you can't understand our language, then fuck you, you know? The other complaint I have is the weapons and the armor. Again, they're trying to be authentic, so a fucking sword has to be called. I don't even know the names of these fucking swords. They're just all Japanese words that, when I'm looking at it, they all sound the same. Like, oh yeah, this is the Yakabishi katana, and this is the, I think one of them was like the Naruto Ishabini or some bullshit. There was like you could get like your a sword. Here's the different types of weapons you can get. Okay, you can get a sword. You can get two swords. Okay, like the sword and the two swords are actually two different types of weapons. So they're just like a weapon. You can equip it, and it's like, okay, so you got the dual. They're just called the. I swear, like the dual swords. They're just. I remember one of them was called the dual Uchi Kuchi Gucci Baguchi Katana or some bullshit like that. And it's like it's real hard to keep track of. Unless you look at the little picture next to it, you won't know what the hell they are. Okay? So, you got your sword, you got dual swords, you got axes, spears, what's the other one? And then you got something called a Kusaradma or what, I don't know what the fuck. This is what I'm talking about. I don't know what the fuck these things are called. It's pretty much like a sickle with a chain, and it has a ball, and you can like whip it around and shit. It's like a big whip with a blade and a big heavy ball. It's called a Kusamagama or something. I don't know. It, like I said, all these names just like fucking blend together, and I'm not racist, but it's just I just can't keep track of it all. Okay, so you got that, and then you have like three types of like you got like bow and arrow, okay, and then you have the rifles, and then you have a hand cannon, okay, and again the bows, the bows. There's like one that's like the Shinguku bow, and it's, come on, you know, I can't understand any of this. The Tokai rifle, and what was the other one? Gingu hand cannon. I'm like, what the fuck is the difference, you know? And the Yagyu bellowing hand cannon or some bull, I don't know. So, yeah, the hand cannon's actually the most powerful type of weapon in the game. Too, you know, they're pretty much used to like snipe enemies from afar, you know, but it's pretty useful up close too. Like I said, that the weapons and the armor too. It's like, what the fuck are they thinking? Okay, so like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was I laughing about? There's actually an armor called the Dew, okay, and like that was one of our kick words, me and Eugene. Dew. I don't even remember how that started. I think we just kept saying do, and then like, do. And then I think there was one called the Tate, or something. Like, what the fuck is a Tate? And a Sunny 8 or something? It's like, I don't know what the... I know the Sunny 8 thing is like boots or something. But... It makes no fucking sense to me. They try to be too authentic, and it just... like, unless you know something about Japanese culture and history and all that, you're not gonna understand this fucking game. Okay? I played through it. Yeah, I played through it. But I don't understand the fucking game. I don't understand the fucking story. So, what was the other thing I wanted to talk about? So, the last boss is actually pretty friggin' easy. You know. So, that's it. I mean, it's an alright game. I just think it's really, really overrated. And you could tell that it's not Dark Souls or anything. There's like they actually combined like a couple different games into one in Nioh. like you have, like most people just, oh, it's like Dark Souls. It's like Dark Souls. Yeah, okay. Well, the only thing Dark Souls is the combat. Okay, so you got the Dark Souls combat, and then what else? There's actually it's actually a lot of it based on like Diablo with the loot system. That's how it is. It's like, in Dark Souls where, you know, you kill an enemy or something and they drop behind like their sword or something, right? Well, not this. It's like you kill an enemy, you open a chest, and it's all random with what comes out, right? Well, for the most part. And it all scales to your level too. So if you're higher up, you probably get like some more better items than before. But yeah, it's all random. Not like Dark Souls where everything's in a fixed place and all this, So, and there's also some aspects of Borderlands as well. And where that comes into play, you have these like little challenges, like like in Borderlands where you have those little challenges, and then you get like these points, and then you can buy like better reload or like better firing speed and shit like that. Well, in this game you got little challenges like do like 100,000 damage with fire or something like that, and you get like a point for that, and then you can go and buy like better luck, or you can get like better health, more health or something. And leveling up's like Dark Souls. Instead of bonfires, you got like these little shrines scattered around the level, and there you can like go and like level up some more. What I said about those little challenges, those are just like little perks or whatever, I guess. Like they're completely separate from leveling up. And on top of that, if you level up certain like stats, they actually give you like there's like three different skill trees, I guess you'd call them. You got your samurai tree, your ninja tree, and what's the other one? I don't know, the fucking magic tree or whatever. And you can put like different points in the different trees, and you can get different abilities and whatnot. So it's like that as well. But all in all, people are saying it's Dark Souls. I gotta disagree. There's some aspects of it, but it's not. I expected like a full Dark Souls in, Japan. And that's it. I mean, to be honest, I only think From Software can actually do a Dark Souls game. I think they actually have the patent for that. So, I think, I don't think anyone could just make a Dark Souls game. I think only From Software can make a Dark Souls game. But, it was alright. I mean, like I said, it's severely overrated. People are giving us like 10 out of 10s and 9s out of 10s. I'd probably give it, I don't know, 7 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10. It wasn't really that good, but I played worse. I played worse. And the game, another complaint is the game was way too friggin' long. It got to the point where it's like, oh, come on. Look, I want to get this game over with, you know? And it just kept dragging on and on and on. It's like, oh my God, let me just get through this game. You know, and the other thing I should mention is the game gets really fucking obnoxious. Like by the end of the game. See, there's like you could do like these little side missions as well. And the side missions are kind of like dumb. They're like, oh yeah, you have to fight your way backwards through a level again, and you gotta kill a specific person, and they're not that hard, and it's not that hard to like find this person, but it's like, why? You have to like find, like that. I remember one was like, oh, you gotta kill the bandit leader, and take his sword or something. So the bandit leader just looks like a regular ass person, but he's not really hard to find. You have a map; it shows you right where to go. So it's like, you know, this is fucking stupid. So, I mean, like I said, it gets really obnoxious by the end of the game. If you want to platinum it, you have to do all the missions, okay? And you have to do like all the training dojo missions as well. And those get obnoxious. Okay? So you pretty much have to kill, like, you have to pretty much beat like the master of that like there, at one point in the game, it unlocks these dojo missions where, like, every single weapon that you have, you can go and like train with it, and get after you beat that mission, you get the mystic art, and it's just a fucking stupid fucking ability that's like specific to that weapon, right? But the thing is that you have to like fight this master. Like, let's say you go and do like the sword mission for it. So you can only use, what is it, the wooden sword against the master, who also has a wooden sword. And if you beat him, then it unlocks the mystic art for the sword. Okay, so it really gets hectic here, because near the end of the game, I think right after you beat the last boss, there's some other side quests that open up, and they're all like, oh, now you have to beat like 2 bosses at once. Okay. Now there's one, you know, like I said, there's like the sword master and like the spear master and all that. There's actually another mission, I shit you not, where you have to fight all 5 of those guys, like one right after the other. And it just gets obnoxious. And these are like full boss battles too. There's just parts where, okay, you killed these 2 guys, okay, now you have to kill them both at the same time. And it's like, oh, come on. You know, then there's just missions where they drop you into like a little like arena or something, and you just gotta like fight your way through like 5 spiders at once, and then like a big, like 2 big ogres or something. And then I remember there was, at the end of it all, you then have to fight, and these are like the hardest guys in the game too. You have to fight they're like these bird guys. I don't know what they call them, but they're obnoxious and they're so powerful. They fly around and they fly around and then they throw these like wind blades at you or whatever, and it's really fucking brutal. Like you gotta be lucky to kill them, or you gotta get a helper. You gotta get bait to kill them, you know. And that's a problem too. This is how like I said, it's an easy game to beat, but it's not easy to platinum because, like I said, you have to beat all those dojo missions because they unlock the mystic art. And in order to get you have like a trophy for each mystic art you get. So you have to beat those missions. Then you have to beat all the side missions and everything. Okay? Including the ones where you have to like fight like 5 bosses at once, you know? And like I said, you don't have to do it, but that's how you get the platinum. So it's an easy game to beat, but it's hard to platinum. And that's how it's actually harder than Dark Souls. Like Dark Souls was just hard, okay? But it's not hard to the point where, you know, whatever. Dark Souls was actually kind of easy to platinum, to be honest. I mean, because it was just time consuming. Yeah, the problem with Dark Souls is that you need to know what to do. You need to know how to do it because there's some stuff that you can do in the game that like fuck up the whole game and you wouldn't even know it. Like if you I know one part, if you beat a boss before you beat another boss, then like some guy over here will be hostile toward you for the rest of the game or something, and then like you can't get like a certain item off that guy until the next playthrough or something. It's like some item that you would need too. So it's like shit like that, you know. Nioh, there really isn't anything like that. And the other thing about Nioh is that the story is told through cutscenes and dialogue. And with that said, that's not Dark Souls. That's not how Dark Souls operates. Dark Souls, they give you very little story in Dark Souls. I mean, there's a story, but you kind of have to like piece it together yourself. The thing with Dark Souls is that every single item in the game has a little description, okay? And it has a little piece of story on every little piece of every item you get. So like a potion or something, it'll tell you that, oh yeah, it restores some health, but then like right underneath it'll tell you like a little sentence or two about the game. It'll tell you about, oh yeah, this king whatever, that killed his son or something, yeah, whatever. And you kind of have to like piece that together, and it'll scatter all over. So you're getting like pieces here and there. And then there's like little notes here and there as well. So that's about it. I mean, I think the game wasn't terrible. It was just mediocre. Okay? And yes, it is severely, severely overrated. Like, it really is. Now, I heard there's another Dark Souls game coming out this month, actually. Not another but another like Dark Souls-like game. I don't know if it's From Software that's making it, but it's supposed to be a Dark Souls with like robots and shit like that. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'm done with this review.